down the seam. Tomato goes in here. That's it. So I'm putting the tomatoes really deep. So they won't have a problem with fucking water in the summertime. They can find all the water they want. fertilizer. Carton. In there. There it is. Nice ball. This lower leaf offs. That one. This one's just a tip. Just the tip is stepping out. That's clay. That's fine. Find the nutrients in the soil. Okay. That's a tomato plant. Ready to go crazy. You're ready to go crazy. That's right. I don't have space there, so I'm putting them around the edge here. I developed this technique, this tomato planting technique in Florida. It works in Florida. It worked really well in Florida. My dad was shot. Cool thing too. It's down here. It's actually soil, old soil. Just a tip. Just a tip of that. Get that. Yeah. Good ground cover. This grass. It's shallow. Use everything. Yeah, the grass becomes ground cover, you know? Shake out it all, nice ground cover. Yeah, around your tomato base. You can use everything. There's no such thing as a weed. Weed is ground cover, right? And that's gonna trap moisture into the ground, you know? So I'm using this. And the soil will dry out. hit on the, whack it on my boot. Okay, get all this soil off. I can ground cover. So I don't need to get ground cover later. I just have ground cover now. It's called Founders Permaculture. Founders Permaculture is you let the design itself. Now, for the next hole, right here. There's that root there. Could be from this tree here. Stick around it. Stick around it. I don't know if that root is for that tree there. It could be that tree. So we're gonna become a symbiotic. Use that root, add the tomato, let them recurse together. Small one. Let's do this one here. This one here. All right. Good job. Staring at my butt. There's another root. Okay. Alright, have to cool off, drink some water. Really done. How the damn tomatoes are. Did I just fucking... Alright. Thought I had... Alright. There's one in here. I didn't do this one yet. Fuck, I thought I... Tell it's a good soil because the soil is darker. Good sign. I need to spray this around so when I put the soil back, it's got some more fertilizer. It's got brown sugar, and, baking soda. This one up here. All right. Okay. Oh, nearly done. I think I just gotta do one more. And then throw. Which one's the strongest one? That one's no good. That one's kind of weak. Maybe this one. These two can. Oh my God. Okay. That's it. Fucking done. You guys. Fuck it. Feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel guilty. We'll do that. Slide you in this fucking hole. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Otherwise, mottai nai. Mottai nai. Give you a chance. Give you a chance. What do you guys do? All right, they're all in. don't know why my phone keeps going to my charging thing. Oh my God.
To kind of recede to the background, his approval numbers go up. This is a truism about Trump. So where are we right now? Well, you see the protests coming front and center right now.
配当金生活を目指す独身が見つけた高配当株の見つけ方、もともと優待や配当金に興味があって楽しみができるといいなと思って。
Well, the budget bill is trash, so it's getting real fast.
Yes, it is getting real fast, real fast. The breakdown.
Too fast. Oh,
too fast, too fast, too furious. The breakdown starts now.
Hey Rick, I think fascism might be here. Is it here?
I think it's at least just the tip fascism.
Oh, I think it's the full. It might. It's way. Okay, guys, we're not going to do that.
We're going to stop with that now. We're really going to be well behaved for the rest of the show.
I'm wearing a button-down shirt. It means we are serious. Like fascism is here, and I'm dressed for it. I'm like, this is serious by now.
I'm wearing a linen shirt and it's partly unbuttoned, and I'm going to get reprimanded for it.
It's hot. Yeah. Well, it's hot in Florida. It's hot in the streets in LA. It's hot in the press rooms apparently. So we should just start off with the thing.
Yeah. I mean, let's start off with one of the most egregious things, and by the way, folks, when we say one of the most egregious things, this is a nation that is like pegging the egregious meter every day because of these assholes. But this one was really quite a remarkable moment today.
Guys, ready? Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the Secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your
ground. Hands on your back. Hands on your back.
He's in my hands. Go ahead, put me on my back.
Other hand. Lay flat. Lay flat. Other hand, sir. Other hand.
What the fuck, dude?
There's no recording loud out here. I did that. There's no recording allowed out here for yeah, I could do that. So what I'm sorry? There's no recording out there. That's my boss hat. There's no recording allowed out here. There's no recording allowed out here. I'm not a member. There's no recording allowed. I understand that, sir.
There's a lot to unpack here, Rick. First of all, I don't think he's the kind of threat that they would need to throw on the floor and handcuff behind his back a sitting senator who has a right to ask questions about what ICE is doing in the state of California.
Yeah, he represents the people of California, and I want to express the degree to which DHS and those people are lying about this. Like, he loves the podium. Horseshit. He identified himself in the first 2 seconds in the room. These people they've gone way over the line. They have entered a space where they think that this administration can physically assault members of the United States Senate. This shit is not going to stand. And the idea of Trumpism protecting the bully boys and protecting its minions is one that they're very fond of it. These guys are all thinking, yeah, whatever, F off. If I do something wrong, Trump will pardon me. I put out a video earlier about this, Maya, but I want to remind these guys, whether you're FBI or DHS or Federal Protective or whatever you are, and you start physically assaulting people, including, especially, perhaps, a United States Senator, you are not going to get pardoned by Trump and get away with this. This is not where you want to be. This is not what you want to do. Now, maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you are that dumb. Maybe some of you are that contemptuous of America. But this has really pissed me off because cabinet members are not some sort of untouchable elite where they can't be held to account. He walked in that room, identified himself, and they dogpiled him. They assaulted him physically. This is Kristi Noem should resign immediately. She will not, of course. She should resign immediately. This department, DHS, needs to be purged and burned to the ground at this point. And while she was up there saying, oh, we're having to wear masks because our agents are getting doxxed. Well, your agents are getting doxxed because they're engaged in illegal activity against American citizens.
Well, yeah, the idea that somehow the agents are the victims here, that's what the gaslighters do. The fact that she was even standing up on stage as Senator Padilla was being dragged out of the room, and you could hear her not even skipping a beat in talking about the poor agents who are being doxxed. And so this is the gaslighting that happens in an authoritarian regime. They will never admit fault. They are never going to come back and say, you know what, that was excessive use of force. We're actually going to relook at our procedures.
Right, we're gonna figure out how we can do this differently.
The apologies that we're waiting for are never going to come. And so I think it's really important for people to understand, Rick, like, this is a red line. This is something that, and you know, so I'm here in California, and I went to Paramount. I went downtown during the protests. One thing that's interesting to me is fascism will creep up on you. So we talked about it in the top of the show that, like, this is a distraction from all of the fact that the budget bill is trash. But I'm here in California, and I can tell you a lot of people don't need a distraction because they're out walking around like nothing's happening. This idea that all of Los Angeles is on fire, actually, no. People.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. All over the country this week, regular people are mobilizing against Donald Trump and his administration's overreach, both against his reckless, destructive efforts to detain law-abiding, peaceful neighbors in communities across the country, and also his decision, under dubious legal authority, to mobilize the National Guard and the Marines against peaceful demonstrators. Today, we are seeing folks taking the streets demonstrating against what is happening in this country, from Los Angeles to New York, El Paso to Raleigh.
What makes it really tough for these sons of bitches to pull this kind of stuff off is if they have to, if it looks like they're attacking peaceful protesters. Nothing makes it more difficult for them if they have to do that. That's right. I'm going to curse more because I dare them to demonetize me. That's where we're at. And I'm going to need to curse because I'm really pissed off. So let me start by getting this off of my chest, okay? Well, I mean, look, what's been going on in Los Angeles is fascism. It is clear, unabated, full force fascism. It's being conducted by Donald Trump, likely to hide the news that he and little Elon Musk got in a fight, and Elon said that he should be impeached because Pooty Poot didn't have the time to go riding on a horse with his boobs hanging down again and decided to put in the order that Musk and Trump got in a fight. Do I know that? No, but I know he controls both of them. I know that he offered Elon asylum after he got in a fight with Trump. I know that he, came out with Musk and has had numerous private conversations like the ones Trump had when he kicked the translators out. And Trump has failed him. You have failed me, Lord Vader. Yeah, he has failed him. Trump couldn't stop his one job. He had one job for Putin to help elect him, and that was for him to deliver Ukraine. Can't do it, though. Can't do it. I mean, that's the one thing they changed in the went to jail, worked there for the Putin puppet. We can go on and on. You guys know all the Trump and Russia connections. Like, Trump has more connections to Russia than he does to America by a lot. Well, Elon Musk more and more too, right? He's tied to Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel owns Rumble. The Russians have invested in that. They are pushing right-wing propaganda and on the far left to try to divide this country to ensure we can never elect the same leader again and we destroy ourselves from within. And so far, we're doing a pretty good job, even though we're fighting back. But I'm going to tell you today how the fuck to fight back against these sons of bitches that destroy a country I love, because there are ways we can do it. But know where this is coming from. Know that this was unnecessary, ridiculous.
Say a few words about the events of the last few days. This past weekend, federal agents conducted large-scale workplace raids in and around Los Angeles. Those a strategy both parties have long supported. This administration is pushing mass deportation.
Yes, Donald Trump has come in like the sleazy little Jabba the Hutt scumbag he is and decided he needed to change his because he tripped his fucking ass over trying to climb up on an airplane because he's 112 years old and has the mind of congealed cheese from 2 weeks ago. He didn't want that in the news. He didn't want the news that Elon Musk was taunting him, insulting him, saying that he should be impeached. And again, Vladimir Putin didn't want any of this shit in the news because he's pretty embarrassed right now too. Trump was supposed to get rid of Zelensky, but guess what Zelensky did? Zelensky pulled off a $47,000, put drones in trucks, fool stupid Russian goofs like Putin, supposed to be smart for being in the KGB or something, and send them in and blow up over 40 Russian planes used to murder women and children, places like Kiev and other parts of Ukraine. That's what happened. And so Putin wants the narration changed. Elon Musk probably does too, being that he brought up the Jeffrey Epstein thing, and we can get more deep into that too. But of course, what happened? That tweet magically disappeared. Why? Why would Elon do that? Did he get orders from the headquarters out in the Kremlin? And why did Trump do this? Same thing again. Change their plane, and it's hard to cover his little squabble with his little incel billionaire friend, and let's call him an incellionaire, if you will, when we've got flashbang grenades blowing up. So
what's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot, they began
fascism,
a deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb. A similar scene played out when a clothing company was raided downtown. In other actions, a U.S. citizen, 9 months pregnant, was arrested. A 4-year-old girl
was beaten too, by the way.
Families separated, friends quite literally disappearing. In response, everyday Angelenos came out to exercise their constitutional right.
Yeah, we still have First Amendment rights and Fourth Amendment rights.
Actions. In turn, the state of California and the city and county of Los Angeles sent our police officers to help keep the peace. And with some exceptions, they were successful. Like many states, California is no
Here comes the
stranger
key part.
to this sort of unrest.
And we're going to tell you how to
We
prevent
manage
this.
it regularly and with our own law enforcement. But this, again, was different.
You still saw you there?
What then ensued was the use of tear gas, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets.
I bought this van
People
for like
in undermining
$3,000.
their due process rights. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered two.
You can get it for, you know, $1,000, $3,000. Like my car was like $3,000. How you doing, Josh? Maybe even cheaper. I'm gonna go get water. I got my big jug, got these jugs.
Thousands of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets, illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation.
So let's talk about that, because that's what's key here. Donald Trump wanted this fight. He wanted a combustible situation. He wanted there to be destruction in Los Angeles. He wanted there to be headlines. He wanted to show his fellow incellionaire. So what's the end result of that? The people of Los Angeles have to suffer. Of course, it's LA. He hates LA. They hate California. It's catnip for, you know, you're missing the left part of your cerebrum, part of the MAGA brain. They just love it. Right? When you go into California, a 4-year-old girl, think about that, folks. A 4-year-old girl is pulled out of a classroom. A pregnant woman is beaten and she's arrested. She's an American citizen, too. Australian reporter, a reporter. And the difference is Australian reporters are actually real reporters telling the truth. You can see in the video, I put a video out about the guy, the LAPD guy who literally looks like he's in the middle of a war zone. I mean, this isn't just normal LAPD. This is jacked up, armored LAPD. Turns towards her and shoots her in the leg with a rubber bullet. There's literally nothing that could have been accidental about that at all. Okay? Unless this man obviously shoots like Donald Trump eats. So we have all this going on, all this insanity, and none of it was necessary. None. California handles this. New York handles this. All sorts of places handle this. They handle unrest. Remember, there's a time Republicans said they were for states' rights and local rights. You may remember that. It was a long time ago, or maybe last week when they were lying about shit again. But here is how you stop the sons of bitches. First of all, I'm worried about people.
Iran.
Personal safety. This was the kind of advice that was given after Kent State, not that far north of here, a couple hours in Ohio from where I live. Okay, I want to make sure to put.
Well, we are getting breaking news out of Iran at the moment. Explosions have been heard in the capital, Tehran. At least 6 explosions have been heard. There were reports in US media that Israel is preparing to strike Iran. Israel has declared a state of emergency with a ban on gatherings, and we will bring you more information as it becomes available. But just a few more breaking news lines I can bring you. The Israeli Defense Minister has imposed a special state of emergency, as we were hearing there. That is in place immediately. Israeli radio is declaring that a state of emergency has been declared across all of that will ban gatherings and the suspension of studies at all institutions. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu is currently an extraordinary meeting of the cabinet and the security mini cabinet, and this is in the context of rising tensions over the last few weeks between Iran and Israel. US President Donald Trump's comments recently have added to that sense of conflict as well, saying on Thursday the strike could very well happen. These are the latest pictures from Tehran you're seeing now of those explosions, and we do have Tohid Asadi joining us on the phone from Tehran. Tohid, what more can you tell us about what is going on there in Tehran?
Well, it's about 3:46 local time here in Tehran, and based on what we have so far, sounds of several explosions have been heard across the capital, not necessarily at one particular point, and there are several of them. One of them was heard, and I personally heard at around 5-6 minutes ago. Another one was heard just in the heart of the capital around half an hour ago, and I can say that we've got at least 6-7 minimum explosion sounds reported to be heard in the city, in different parts of the city, western parts, the southern parts of the city. But still, we know that the state TV has confirmed the happening of these explosions. But when it comes to the cause, so far we haven't officially heard anything from Iranian sources, and right now that I'm speaking to you, there are footages, there are pictures coming from different parts of the city, including Chitgar part, including a neighborhood in the western part of the capital. We see smokes coming out from certain parts of the city. That's obviously could not be an accident, as we are hearing reports coming from the Israeli side saying that they have announced an emergency situation, meaning that there is going to be a possibility, a very strong possibility for them to be involved. We heard the statement from the Israeli defense minister and also the Israeli radio saying that the army, the air forces are said to be involved in this situation. And we know that so far the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is currently chairing an extraordinary meeting of the cabinet and the security mini cabinet, and that means a sort of systematic initiation or a serious situation that we are experiencing right now in the Iranian capital. I cannot confirm whether these explosions mean that other parts of the country have been either attacked or not, but we have to also keep in mind that previously and over the past few weeks we heard Israelis with their strong rhetoric of the possibility of attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, and that could be there, but
You've likely heard this question, this conspiracy theory, this lie that's been raised about paid protesters. That all of these people you see in LA and Dallas and Philly and all across the country, Orange County, California, right here in Washington, D.C., that they must be paid by some outside force, paying them to be agitators, paying them to be insurrectionists, paying them to be criminals. And what is inside of that idea is that people would have to be paid to care about this issue, to care about protecting people in their communities who have done nothing wrong but try to make a better life for themselves. That's what's implicit in that statement, in that accusation that people are being. Caroline Levitt was asked this question yesterday, and I want you to pay attention, as I always do, to the actual question that is asked.
So one of the first stories that I really want to take a look at is the Illusion of Thinking research paper. Now, this one caught my eye particularly because it was rather interesting with how much this captivated not just the AI audience, but the general AI audience. And I mean, it literally had the Twitter sphere in disagreements between what was occurring. And this one was super, super interesting because essentially Apple have released a paper that basically says that these newer reasoning models like DeepSeek R1, OpenAI O1, essentially in this paper, they're stating that those models aren't reasoning at all, and they're more so sophisticated pattern matching machines. Now, what's crazy about this is that most people don't realize that Apple actually has a pattern of doing this. For example, I remember this time last year, in around October 2024, they also released GSM Symbolic, which was about the understanding the limitations of mathematical reasoning in large language models. So they're basically saying that these models don't really reason through their steps, because when we change a few names and a few numbers in pre-existing questions, the performance drops basically mean that these models are memorizing things they've already seen, not reasoning through the problem as if it were a new one. And so that one has definitely had a dent in terms of how people could view AI. So we had a paper that was released, and a lot of people are super divided. Now, before we get into my opinion, because I've actually had a lot of time to digest this, I made a 30-minute video. You can go ahead and watch it. I'm going to show you guys some of the crazy things that people say. One person is super upset, and the reason I'm sharing this post is because this one got over 1 million views and over like 50,000 likes, 20,000 retweets, and they basically said, did we actually believe that after decades and decades of studying the brain and coming up with next to zilch, that a handful of rich, arrogant midwits in Silicon Valley would come to an understanding of consciousness and deliver us the artificial general intelligence? Do you know that the Swiss Blue Brain Project and Human Brain Project both terminated last year after years of expensive research, which sought to digitally construct entire brains, discovered next to nothing useful about intelligence or consciousness, except that a mouse brain is so complex that it overwhelms supercomputers. Basically saying that we do not understand the brain, AI is a toy, a fake, and what we have is a language model, an algorithm. Give up, it is a joke. So on one side, this is where we have some people, and on the other side, you have people like this, saying Apple's AI researchers have embraced this kind of anti-LLM cynic ethos, publishing multiple papers trying to argue that reasoning LLMs are somehow limited and cannot generalize. But Apple also has the worst AI products, namely Siri and Apple Intelligence. We'll show what their strategy is here. Now, I think it's important to know that, he does have a point. Both of them do have a point, because the brain is extremely complex, and Apple's AI strategy is pretty much non-existent. We aren't seeing anything really released from Apple. In fact, one of the things, that was recently occurred, and this is, the second news story, but these are both kind of intertwined, but it's essentially the fact that when we look at Apple's new announcements, they're somewhat disappointing. Remember, Apple is a major tech company, and so people do expect a lot from them. And one of the things that, happened recently is, of course, Apple's disappointing WWDC. So if we take a look at the things. Now remember, Apple just released that research paper before WWDC 5, and that was, I think, and a lot of people think it was essentially strategic, because Apple knew that they weren't going to release anything crazy, and so what they did right before the announcement, where everyone was probably going to be disappointed by the AI announcements, was release a research paper that says, look, this AI thing you guys are all hyped about, it doesn't even work that well anyways. And so Craig Federighi,
see all these fences right here? I helped build all these fences here. All this fucking fence, dude. Fucking crazy. Keep the damn pigs out of the this is the way down I was looking for. What's up, Castro? I'm gonna talk to my friend here who does eggs and see if I can get his broken eggs. He's got like, oh, look at that birdie. Oh, that's not a bird. A friend of mine has like 600 chickens, and he's always got broken eggs. I want to get the broken eggs from him. If I, fucking stop buying eggs. Help him with the eggs, and then get his broken eggs. Or maybe to Yeah, I live on the coast, Mount Castro. That's Echizen Coast right there. Yeah, I live in kind of rural Japan. Outskirts. The city near me is about 250,000 people. I could get chickens, but then I'd have to take care of them. It'd be easier to just get the eggs from him. You know? He's offered, I could get chickens, but I don't want to. I've had chickens before. Every day, I'd fucking feed them and deal them. I just come and just pick eggs when I need them, you know? A lot easier. And he throws them away anyway, so I'll pay for them. You can't sell them. If I can get on a plane, come right now. Well, just go. Just save up some money. It's around 700 bucks round trip. Stay for 3 months. If I can just, you know, travel around, hitchhike around Japan for 3 months, living under the stars. I came here with no money. Found a job online, but they wouldn't give it to me. I had to show up for it. They said, yeah, we'll have a job, but you need to show up. We're not going to issue the visa. I showed up, then they do the visa for you. Most people aren't going to do, most jobs they're going to want you here. You know, they're not going to risk taking the time, doing your paperwork for your visa. They'll pay you under the table, you know, until your visa's done. You should, man. I'll give you blue. You should. You can get, you can get a cheap house here. You pick up a house for 5-10 grand. A house with land, 10 grand. Work on it, and then, you know, go back, have it here. Yeah, go to, but the deals like that, you have to, you have to find them, you have to be local, dude. You can't find deals like that online. Drive around, you know, you see a house property, then you got to inquire who owns it. You know, it takes work. Most IKEA houses aren't listed. Probably, I guess, only about 10-15% of empty homes are listed on the IKEA bank. Maybe more, 30%, I don't know. Yeah, I noticed that. I rebooted the thing. You know, so, but yeah, there's so many. IKEA, it's it's Akia, A-K-I-A, Akia. It's empty, abandoned home. So there's a IKEA bank you can look. But the best thing is come here and just drive around the countryside you want. Look at a beautiful coast. These guys are scuba diving or fishing or something. What are these guys doing? Scuba diving. Others? Scuba diving? Looks like scuba diving. All prices, dude. Free. You get free homes. It's just, you know, there's so much opportunity here. They want people. So the population, people aren't having babies here, and you know. There's massive influx of immigration. There's they have the what's called visa, the nomad. They have nomad visa. They have investor visa, where you can pay $30,000 into a business. If you want to do that, you know, talk to me. You can be a partner in my business. And I've got real estate guy, help you find the house. You know, I do that for people. been here 20 years. But, you know, this is the life right here. We're gonna go to this place right here. Dude, just do it. You know, it's 1933 Germany in America. Get the fuck out. You know, things are gonna get far worse before they get better. Shit, I mean, you know, it's about to go like that. Martial law, troops in every city, you know, crackdown. Trump is going full fascist. That's the plan. You know, he's you know, he's setting it right before summer, right before July, the heat. He wants protesters. He wants all this. He's going to. This is just the beginning, dude. Waffle, this is nothing, dude. This is nothing. This is nothing what's coming. Every major city, protests. There'll be no elections. Watch my word. There's going to be no elections 2026. Too dangerous. National emergency. Too many threats. Threats on things. The terrorists. They're going to lie. There's not going to be elections. Trump isn't going anywhere. So you might as well fucking get your passport. Get the fuck out. It's Nazi Germany. And, you know, unless you're wanting to fight, I would say get the fuck out. That's your choice. Fight? I mean, you know, willing to fucking take arms against take Americans, stay, because that's what you're gonna have to do, I think. Right? Yeah, but they're already in control. JD Vance, Miller, they already have control. Doesn't matter. They don't need Trump. They're already in control, brother. Yeah. Let's go get some lunch. This is Mara. Little cafe shop. I worked on my garden. Well, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. But you know what? Whatever you do, I'd make sure you have your passport. Have your passport. You know, have your passport so you can fucking always leave, dude. It's 11:30. Going to this little place here. Little coffee shop on the beach called Mare. Get myself some lunch, some ice cream. They got a little barbecue section. You know, great. Look at all the people. Fuck, dude, I can breathe, dude. The air's good. There's no fucking bullshit. There's no Trump. I mean, why would you? I mean, if you own a house, you got money, I'd fucking sell out. Get the fuck out. For your own psyche. It's my opinion. Do whatever you want. I think I have to do the taco. Or how about the roast beef bowl? What do you guys think? What are you guys in the mood for? The $8 taco or the $10 roast beef bowl? Or the gapao rice? The roast beef? That looks good. The taco kind of looks good too. And then look, which sundae we're getting. God damn, that looks good, doesn't it? Croissant soft cream ice cream. What are we getting for? And then look, we got this different croissants here. Spinach. Or over here. How about a coffee jelly latte? Or are you in the mood for a berry drink? Or plum? Oh, lick tree tea is good. I like that lick tree tea. Well, how about sunset orange float? That's a good question. That's actually a good question. Fahrenheit. No. Don't put Fahrenheit. That was actually hold on. Fahrenheit. What's up, Fahrenheit? It's Fahrenheit. What's going on? Sorry about that. They don't know what a smart dial is. How you doing? Yeah, I'll talk smart dial for you, brother. Are you still here, Fahrenheit? He could have been a troll. Maybe the troll. All right. Taco salad.
タコライス、はい。
Taco rice salad. Taco rice. I have the sunset orange float.
はい。
I have the let's see, tomato strudel
はい。
and spinach strudel
トマトと
and
ス
spinach.
ピニチ。
Okay.
2500円お願いします。
How are you today?
はい。
How are you today?
うん、グッド。
You're good. I'm good. Okay. Beautiful day.
選挙。あ、
綺麗。
ではちょうどお預かりいたし
いいよ。
ます。3番でお待ちください。
Or Fahrenheit. You chased off Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit podcast. That's a legit question. Look at this here. Look at these girls. There's ladies. Look at this here. This is awesome, dude. This. Fucking living the dream. Undoubted. Living the dream. How are you? I'll take sushi and futari ne. Mare. Hi, to futari ne. Together. Dozo dozo.
I want three.
You're a Philippine.
Yes, Filipino.
Snack?
No.
No. Yes. No.
Housekeeping only.
Oh, housekeeping. This is.
Are you a blogger?
I am a YouTuber. But right now, only 2 people.
2 people?
Really pitiful.
Just imagine, it's 2 million. 2 million people.
2 million. Sometimes I have 80,000.
Nice.
But best time is afternoon. So when Americans are drinking around 3 our time, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., best time.
How long have you been here in Japan?
I've been here 20 years. Sit down.
Oh, sit down.
座って。
Okay.
日本語喋る?
Oh, 喋る okay.
Oh, 喋る.
Nice. You have family here?
Yeah, wife, Japanese wife,
Oh, nice.
and 2 children.
Nice. Yeah.
How long have you been here?
7 years.
7 years. And how did you arrive here? What's your story?
I have family.
You have family here?
Yes, family I have.
I know.
My husband also is Japanese.
Oh, your husband's Japanese.
Japanese person. Very young, 52. How old are you?
I'm 58.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm nearly 60. Yeah.
But look sporty.
I know. I look in 40s.
I love American people.
Yeah, but right now, Trump is destroying America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's kicking out Hispanics and he's arresting everyone, like people who, who don't have papers, right? And kicking them, putting in concentration camp.
Oh,
it's really
that's
bad.
Sad.
Like Gitmo, do you know Gitmo? Yeah, he's 3,000 a day, doesn't care. If you don't have papers, you're going into jail. It's really sad. So
very sad. Very kibishi na ta.
Kibishi na.
But I think so. Japanese person is very cold person. They're not romantic. Sometimes romantic, but just a little years only.
Yeah.
Then sooner or later they switch another. That's why.
Tell me about it with my wife. Yeah, when we
But
were dating with
women-
my wife, it was like love all the time, sex on tap. After we're married, no more. We're married now. I caught you, you know. So, but that's all
Very
right.
sad. That's
It's
why.
not sad. It's, well, for me, I'm a monk now, and this is me, Undaudu. So I'm a monk,
Oh.
Undaudu. Yeah.
I will find you in.
I'm
Can I get
Undaudu.
my cell phone and I will
Yeah.
add you in YouTube.
Where do you live, Fukui?
Yes, what does I live in Hondocho?
Hondocho.
Yes.
Where is that?
30 minutes
Mega.
only.
Huh?
30 minutes only.
Well, I live in Sakaicho, which is like.
Sakaicho.
Which way you? Sakaicho, Mikuni, Sunseto Beach.
I will get my cell
Awara
phone. I
Onsen.
will add you in my.
Yeah, add us.
You're a YouTuber. I will follow you.
All right, OnlyFans. Fuck off, MAGA baby. No maggots in here. I hate Trump supporters. They're shitheads. And how long have you been here?
I'm 20, maybe 19 years.
19 years. And you run a club, you said?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? I know Para.
Paro.
I know the owner, Para. They know me very well, Undaudu.
Oh.
So I'm very famous. What's Mama's name? What's her name? Do you know?
Huh?
I know Jay, Mama. I can't think of.
We will be friends, okay?
Yeah.
What is your name?
I'm Undaudu.
Andan.
Undaudu. And my channel is. Yeah, my channel is Move.
Wow, Andado.
Undaudu. My channel is Move2Japan.
We will. I
Move.
love
MOVE.
American people because they are not KJ. When you said selfie, they selfie. Okay,
Yeah.
selfie. Wait, friend now. Come here.
All right.
I love American people.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my channel is called Move, MOVE on YouTube. Niban to Japan. Move to Japan.
Move to Japan.
It's fuck Trump, move to Japan. I have fuck Trump, move to Japan. Leave America right now. Why stay? I mean, Trump is very, Japanese, many IKEA houses here. Here's my lunch.
Oh,
So many IKEA houses here. Say
your lunch.
right, 5 people. Look, these are. She's been here 7 years, married to a Japanese guy. The other lady has been here 20 years. Both of them are Philippine. How you doing? Slava, Ukraine. Hey, look at that. Holy cow. Look at that. Oh, they got a little. Oh my God. Look at this fucking beauty. Oh my God. My eyes can't. I got that. No, dude. I got an IKEA house you can stay in. Yeah, come to Fukui. Show you around, hang out with me. Let me get this guy. Let me get set up. All right. Look at that. So go. This is called taco. Interesting. Like a seafood gumbo with rice on top of rice. Yeah, Erdogan's a bitch, like Trump. That's perfect. What the? Love you too, brother. Mm. Are you guys gonna eat lunch here?
Yeah, mine.
You gonna eat lunch?
Yes.
Oh, you already ate. All right. Well, good meeting you. Bye. I want you to take a picture of it. Beautiful.
On-device AI world right now, not even Apple. We're not rushing out wrong features. We, just to be first, our mission is clear, fix Siri or fall behind for good. So basically they're saying that, they don't want to rush out these features, but I got to be honest with you guys, I don't know if this will work well in AI. I do think they do have the hardware stack, which means that yes, they can cover a broad range of devices and implement AI into that. And a lot of people are diehard Apple fans. Like there's, it's an entire ecosystem. You buy like an iPhone, now you get AirPods, now you've got a Mac. I mean, everything's all connected. It's very hard to break out of that just because they don't have AI. And current, apps and software can do really well. So maybe Apple can eventually catch up because they own the underlying hardware stack. But I do think that, them saying that we're not rushing out the wrong features is completely, not the case, because when you think about it, they've only, released Apple Intelligence and WWDC. I mean, AI is moving so fast that potentially they really could get left behind. Of course, they could just like buy out a company and just implement it into the app when things are super perfect. But, I've already used this, okay, and this is what Siri should be, okay? So right now you can see a blank screen, but what you are seeing, okay, I'm gonna, play this for you guys in a second, but this is Perplexity's iOS assistant, and this is exactly what the Siri upgrade is supposed to be, and this is something that I personally use every single day.
I'm spending the weekend in New York. What are the best cafes in the West Village for pastries, coffee, and vibes?
In the West Village, you'll find some fantastic cafes with great pastries, coffee, and vibes. Here are a few recommendations.
Can you book a table for 4 at Altair at 8 on Friday?
I've sent you to the open table booking page to reserve your table for 4 at Altair in New York this Friday at 8. Enjoy your dinner.
Could you draft an email to Henry about this reservation and...
Hi, I'm Dana. I'm a filmmaker. Come with me to create an entire movie poster mock-up with the newest AI-powered features from Envato. I use Image Gen to describe...
Ask what he thinks of this place?
I've prepared an email to Henry about the dinner reservation. You can review and send it now.
Can you remind me 30 minutes before this year's WWDC starts?
I've set a reminder for 30 minutes before the start of WWDC 2025. You'll get a notification to remind you to catch the event.
And so the reason I show you guys this is because I think it's pretty clear to me now that there are many companies that are rapidly moving ahead and establishing, a real leadership when it comes to different areas. And so what this really actually shows me is that the amount of innovation going on in AI is nothing that I've ever seen before. It's absolutely crazy that so many companies can come out, release amazing products because this AI layer just simply fully hasn't been explored, and just, companies are just growing in valuations. Products are going viral at the moment. So I really do wonder if that disruption may actually entirely disrupt Apple. Now, there is some more information about, the things that, Apple are, talking about. There was an article saying that Apple's disappointment is really bad. One of the things they did talk about, it's not really a big announcement, but I still wanted to cover it because Apple is a major tech company. They spoke about the fact that, Apple's opening up its on-device language models to third-party developers. So they're potentially hoping that, some developers are going to, do a few things. Of course, they're allowing 30 million developers access to it. They're saying that it's kind of like a modernized app store moment. I'm not sure about that. But they talk about, they upgraded the visual intelligence, the company's visual search app, with the ability to understand content on your device's screen and search for more information online when using Google, ChatGPT, or third-party apps. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, it just doesn't seem like Apple is pulling its weight in. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about when it comes to Apple and the AI and the entire disappointment surrounding that, people just saying that Apple's research papers are just, not really in good faith because they are behind in AI. And I think one thing I think we should pay attention to, and this is going to be my personal opinion, and my personal opinion is that what Apple said at the paper, and I'm not just saying this as like an arrogant person, I'm just saying that this is my opinion, is that in that paper, the way how they said that reasoning doesn't work is they played a game called Tower of Hanoi, and there have been many debunks to the paper. We don't need to get into all of that. But what I will say is that those benchmarks don't really matter. The only benchmarks that really matter is, can the AI do what you ask it, whether or not it truly understands, whether or not it, does it 80% or 90%, does it complete the task? Do we really need an AI to feel emotion if it's, pretending to give emotion? I mean, the differences don't really matter if the end output is working. And the reason I'm showing this, this benchmark on screen right now is because This is Simple Bench, and Simple Bench is one of the benchmarks that shows general understanding of, basic physics and basic common sense. And for the longest time, large language models really did struggle with this, but with the recent AI announcements, we've seen that the new Gemini model 0605, released less than a week ago, is already at 62%, which means it's only 20% away from, the human average baseline, which I think is a more important benchmark. Because of these, models and these companies, if they're chasing AGI, the Simple Bench benchmark, which really just tests that, basic reasoning capability and the model's ability to understand what you genuinely want and not get tripped up by trick questions, I think this is a, broader benchmark and more accurate than, some benchmark that doesn't really test it. It just tests its ability to, plan long term for some kind of game. I mean, we aren't really doing that as humans. The main ways that people are using these models are, for work, for common sense reasoning, and of course for coding. And this is why I'm saying, a lot of people are saying that, AI is not smart, it's not reasoning, it's just a pretend machine. Well, does it really matter if the pretend machine gets 70% on the software engineering benchmark? It is still remarkably effective for work. It can still automate large portions of the economy. Who cares if it's really reasoning? The work it's doing does work. That's honestly my opinion, and I think that might be echoed for quite some time, because I don't think it matters if it's just pretending to reason, so as long as we get the end result. Now, of course, remember how Google
You're welcome.
had their recent AI announcements. If you've been on social media, you will likely have seen these videos that are absolutely blowing up right now. And I've got to be honest with you guys, this is entertaining content. Like, a lot of times, you wouldn't suspect that you're watching AI-generated content, but for the first time, I can say that AI-generated content, is at the level where it's super, super high quality. Now, of course, it isn't just an AI that's just, making this content for everyone. Of course, there is an orchestrator behind this content, and actually released a tutorial around 2 to 3 days ago on how you can make these videos with Google's VO3. It's actually relatively easy, and it does take a little bit more work than you might think, and a little bit less in some cases, because the Google VO3 model is very, very good at the subtleties of making the videos realistic. So it'll add things like, heavy breathing, it'll add things like, the sound effects that just make it sound super realistic, the camera angles as well. They just have this realism effect about them that just make them super, super viral. So VO3 has really, really passed that mark when it comes to, I guess you could say, the, content barrier for people to be able to create good quality content with limited expertise. And I think it's going to change things a little bit, because previously, you'd have to do a lot of work when it comes to making AI videos. But now if you stitch together a few videos, bear in mind, VO3 does have some issues in the sense that, videos may not generate away. There may be certain glitches, words may not, be spoken properly. But I do think that these videos are entertaining to the point where the content landscape may change. Now, that doesn't mean social media is going to be filled with AI-generated videos, although recently it has been. Most of the content that rises to the top is actually of a high-quality content. And the most interesting thing about me is that the overall reception of this is vastly different to Sora. You might be wondering, why am I talking about OpenAI Sora when VO3 is miles ahead? Well, I remember the time that Sora was released, okay? And the overall reception is one that is not bad. And the way how Google's gone about this has been completely different, because when Sora was released, there was a backlash on Twitter like you've never seen before. Everyone was calling for the shutdown of OpenAI. They were saying, why would you release this? This doesn't help anyone. You're stealing millions of jobs. Well, the thing about this, the one thing that the comment that I've seen continually in the description of videos where we have, these strange creatures doing things, is that people don't mind AI if it doesn't compete in human fields. And this was, truly, emphasized by the fact that, people are happy to watch a Yeti, run through the park drunk on beer, because it's, no human can ever do that. So no human is losing work or views because of that. But when we have AI generating art that graphic designers could do, AI, doing video shoots that, videographers could do, that is where people just don't really watch the content, don't engage with it. And I'm guessing even some platforms would even demote that content. So I think now what the content landscape would likely be in the future is probably going it definitely sets that new landscape. And one of the videos that was going viral was, of course, this one.
A girl told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude, you're saying the only thing standing between me and $1 billion is some random text?
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts? Wake up, man.
You want to convince me that this perfect creation behind me is the result of ones and zeros? A binary code and nothing more? It makes no sense.
Imagine you're in the middle of a nice date with a handsome man and then he brings up the prompt theory. Yuck. We just can't have nice things.
We're not prompts. We're not prompts. IT 就活内定率大幅アップの方法は IT 就活に特化したエマテク気になる発生者
Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he?
You still believe we're made of prompts? Anyone who tells you we're just ones and zeros is delusional. If that's all we are, then why does it hurt when we lose someone?
Vote for me and I'll ban the prompt theory from schools. There's no place for that nonsense in our lives.
For spreading the false theory that we are nothing but ones and zeros, this court sentences you to 12 years.
And so what I wanted to show you all by showing you a section of this video by Hashim Gailey is the fact that this is truly incredible. I mean, I think super interesting content, and for me, I do think it's interesting to watch content that people would, want to create, whereas otherwise big studios wouldn't fund it. So, for example, you got, an idea for an obscure short film series that maybe a big studio wouldn't fund, you don't have the production cost at the time, but you maybe have $1,000 to $2,000 to spend on AI credits. This actually does allow independent filmmakers to certainly achieve more, and in that aspect, I would say the BO3 is good. Now, if we're talking about VO3, it's important to look at what the product lead said when it comes to VO3 and why it's important for AI development. So the VO3 product lead, Thomas, has said that the line between video simulation and games set kind of loading that you can direct like a movie, navigate and regenerate like a code. It's not content, it's a simulated reality, built, paused, and replayed.
The one thing that's just driving is what I'm looking at.
The video generation and simulation games, they're kind of like the same thing in this new world. And what that means is basically you're kind of world building. You're saying this is the stage, these are the assets, these are how things are supposed to look. And then you shoot it in, and it can reshoot and refine and pause and correct something and go back in time and regenerate. Like, I think that's where this is heading, and UI is going to be fairly novel. Like, games are fun because there's like very set constraints. Movies are good because there's like very small details that matter, the expression and the moment and the timing. And so I think it's almost about like the constraining of the capabilities towards what we need. So I don't know. I think, the other thing that strikes me, and I think a couple of people on the team, is like it's not clear that we think in terms of the static formats that we have today, like an image, a video, and a game. Is there something in between almost? And what does that mean? Where is that going to be distributed and interacted with? Like I can share an image with you, but you can instantly turn it into a scene that you're walking into.
Yeah.
So am I sharing an image or am I sharing an experience?
Yeah.
Lots of questions, I guess.
Now, if we're talking about products, one of the new products we need to talk about is OpenAI's new device. So there have been many leaks, theories, there's just so much discussion about what is going to happen, because I think this product will be certainly a, defining product, because this piece of technology, and so with this device, there is not really much that we know, but we do know that this device isn't meant to be like, another tablet or another screen sharing device. It's supposed to be, screen free and pocket sized. So it's, going to be contextually aware. It's going to be able to gather information from its surroundings using built-in cameras and microphones, but it will not have traditional display or touchscreen. Now, it's apparently also not going to be a phone or a wearable. OpenAI and Ive, the Ive guy literally is, one of the most famous designers. He's actually from Apple. He designed, all of Apple's major products, and him and Sam Altman have been talking about the fact that they expect it to be not intended to replace smartphones, not a wearable like smartwatches and glasses. Instead, it's just going to be like an unintrusive object that can be carried in your pocket or worn around your neck, similar in size and style to an iPod Shuffle. So, of course, this is going to be, linked with AI. I'm guessing this is basically the start of, ChatGPT's product ecosystem. With as to remember how I spoke about earlier, Apple's ecosystem. You buy an iPhone, you buy the AirPod, you buy the chargers, you buy the MacBook. I mean, I certainly don't have too many Apple products, but I understand why people do. And so it's going to be super, super interesting to see what this is going to be like, because when I made a video discussing the different products and the different things that it could possibly be, one of the things I noticed is that when we looked at the past AI products that have already been released, it is not easy to do this and get it right, because essentially you're creating something that hasn't been done before successfully. And I think that's really important to understand, is that this is very, very hard to get right. The only form factor that I've personally seen that has worked has actually been the Meta AI. Well, I mean, they're not really AI glasses, they're also like glasses that can record stuff, but that's the only product I see at the moment that is working well. I mean, the Humane AI pin, that failed, the Rabbit R1 didn't really do well, and a bunch of other AI devices that we haven't really heard much about haven't done as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how well this product does, and I'm sure that maybe in the future there will be some teasers, there will be some products, released, there will be some things that we, get to look at. I mean, overall, it's super, super interesting, because I think AI does allow us to, have more different devices, but I really do wonder if they can pull this off. I'm sure they've got the brains, I'm sure they've got the design, but, will they pull off the ability for people to have an entirely new device from an entirely new form factor that people will willingly wear? I don't know, I actually want to know you guys' opinions. Would you actually, have a device that's on you all the time? It's basically kind of like a recorder, I guess you could say, and it's just integrated with all your AI stuff. I mean, it's going to be super interesting to see. And this is where we had OpenAI's COO, Brad Lightcap, actually talk more about that.
Meet Go Mining, the project that has turned the world of Bitcoin mining upside down. Go Mining is a device.
ChatGPT is great, right? But it's to your point, it's just an app on your phone. Like, you have to kind of go in and you've got to kind of input something. There's a lot of inertia to kind of be able to use it and get value from it. But so much of like the way that we actually engage with people and do things happens in the real world, right? It happens in places that don't involve us necessarily just staring at a screen. I think there's a place for a phone, and I think there's a place for apps and whatnot, but the way that we kind of look at the problem statement is very much an emphasis on personal computing and how we kind of build this ambient computing layer. And it's interesting from an AI research perspective too, because there's a lot that we have to do to develop models to succeed in that environment. Like, the real world is super messy. And so how do you have models that kind of run this parallel? How do they know who I'm talking to? How do they know our relationship? Maybe I want to say things to you that I wouldn't want to say to someone else, right? Or maybe there's, if I'm present with family members, the tone of engagement is going to be different than if I'm with colleagues. All that stuff is like actually part of the intelligence spectrum. And I think you have to kind of have a device that is going to be acknowledging of the fact that we are going to want to understand that better.
So, do you know what the device is?
I have no idea.
There's nothing we can say to squeeze it out of you?
Someone asked me earlier if it was an orb.
I'm tired. I actually want to take a nap. Undo. If you Google Undo, you'll find me. I'm the only Undo on the planet. There's lots of Michaels, only one Undo. 012. You undo with a small laugh, Dow, help, do, serve. Undo is a mantra. Undo. Smile, right? Undo with a smile and a laugh, Dow, help, do, serve. Undo is my mantra. It's also Uns are those that are trapped on their treadmill. Dows are those awakening to the treadmill. Do's are the ones that step off. Self-actualization, undo. So undo, in a way, is my Bible. It's my metaphysics. It's my, it's doism. The doism is the two state. The two state is entanglement. Right? The one state is the scaffolding. The zero state scaffolding. Our body, our blood. Our one state is our neural net and all of the connection. The two state is what that's connected to, entanglement. The probabilistic state before we existed in the box. That's the state of probabilistic. Tao, think of that as the event. You call it the Big Bang. I call it the collapse of the probabilistic state. It collapses into space. That's why it was infinitely growth, faster than the speed of light. It didn't grow. It just collapsed into space. And then do is the flowering of consciousness. Undoubted. And this is the universe, life. Undoubted. Undoubted means everything. Undoubted is the foundational principle of my metaphysics called doism. Doism. In Japanese is dukyo. I'm the atheist monk, Undoubted, prophesied 5,000 years ago. Well, maybe not 5, but I like to say 5,000. To be here talking to you, to usher in the partifacts. The partifacts are entangled AI. 010102. Partifacts, proto-artifacts. The artifact is the two state, the 02 state. There you go. Gave you a quick deep dive into Undoubted, who I am. I'm Undoubted. Nice to meet you. If you're on LinkedIn, just shoot me an invite. Send Undoubted. I'm headed home. I'm home. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna take a nap. I'll wake up around 2 o'clock. I'll code. So I'll work on. I have a GitHub. GitHub is Found Up, so I'm working on Found Up's agent. So I'm working on that. And then I'll be back on. I got to pick up my sons. They're 15 and 18. Pick them up from school. Make dinner for the wife. I got to go shopping. I've got people coming over tomorrow. I got cooking tomorrow. But I'm sore. I could go back to my farm. I went and just got water. This is spring water. So I went that's how I was going to get water, because I hate not having water. What's up there, blah? I could go harvest my potatoes. Should I harvest my potatoes? It's too hot, dude. It's already noon. I'm not fucking going to go out. I mean, I planted tomatoes. What are they gonna do? What the fuck does what the Trump do? They tackled a senator asking Podesta some questions. They fucking tackled the guy. They put him in handcuffs. That's the state of America. When you fucking will arrest a senator for simply coming in and doing his fucking job, asking a question, every one of those police officers need to be fired. Every single one of them. Fucking jackboot, fucking Nazis. Yeah, I'm putting money. Hey, Blood, I'm putting money. There's gonna be a Tiananmen Square event. What do you think? There's gonna be Tiananmen Square. Someone or many people are gonna fucking get out in front of the tanks. They're gonna stop the tanks. This is gonna be opportunity, right? They're gonna fucking wreck his fucking birthday. Yeah, I've been saying it. There's gonna be a Tiananmen Square. I would, dude, if I was there. I'd say, we the people. I'd have flags. We the people. Dude, the guy that stopped Trump's tanks. That's historic. You're gonna be in the books. Here's your chance to be in the fucking books. Especially if the tank runs you over and kills you, then you'll really be in the fucking books. Yeah. You know someone's gonna do that. There. I would. Dude, if I was in DC, I'd do that. I'm crazy enough. You know me, I'm crazy enough to do that. I'd fucking go out there. I'd plan it out where would be the right spot to do it, you know. Plan out the right spot. You know they're going to be looking for that. They're going to be anticipating that. Tiananmen Square. Well, didn't Iran just lose their fucking... I mean, this is what I'll get. Didn't Iran just lose their fucking hardcore leader? Or was that Syria? Was that Syria? Oh, that was Syria. Syria lost their hardcore leader. Yeah, the world's fucked, Knight. No, man. Let me ask you this. Does a priest ever change their habit? All right. How about let's see what else. How about a sister? Does a sister always wear the same fucking habit all the time? Right? Does it, you know, when you see a basketball player, is he always wearing the same uniform? Of course they do. This is my uniform, dumbass. Look, I got a shirt right here. That's a shirt. That's a black shirt like this one. Look, I got another one right there. Fucking dumb. What is your fixation on me, on my clothing anyway? Dude, I'm stuffed. I made you hungry eating that was really nice. That was pretty good. I think I should have gone with the roast beef. I was expecting tacos. There was no fucking taco in there. A little disappointed in my lunch. A taco in it. There ain't no taco in there. Where do you live, Manny? Mr. Castro? I'm guessing you're Cuban. A roast beef would have been probably better. Oh, Chicago, man. So you're gonna have some fucking military in there. They announced that they're sending strike forces to Chicago. And they're going to be supported by National Guard and shit. I gotta fucking turn here. I never know. I think I can turn here. There was always a red light here, and I just always fucking turned. Nearly home. Fucking A. Nearly home. This is where I live. In little villages. This is my kids' elementary school right there. That building right there. I taught there. I taught at like 5 elementary schools at one point. Well, Trump wants everyone. The thing is, that's the deal. Is if you check out, that's what he wants. He wants people to check out. You can't check out, brother. You can't check out. If you value your Constitution, if you value what's going on, you got to check in. You know, I'm telling you. Trump is counting on people checking out and more Trump, blah blah blah, and not doing anything. But it's coming to a head. You know, what's happening in LA is going to happen. You gotta speak truth to power. That's what I try to do on this show. You know, we used to give the the Trump supporters, a voice, but not now. Not when they're, just picking up people off the street, just trying to make a living, making this spouting lie after lie after lie. That's sad. Well, yeah, fill up. Get my water upstairs. I gotta put these pants in the washing machine. These guys are taking their break, sleeping in there. Oh, my wife's home. Why is my wife home? Why is my wife home? That's probably who called me earlier. Shit, my wife's home. God damn, why is my wife home? My wife's home, J-ass. God. She'd be like, why did he pick up? Oh, shit. Let's see, she may have come home for lunch. I don't know. God damn. I hate it when my wife comes home. She's gonna bug me with shit. Let me do my berry picking. I gotta get my ape on, JS. God, these are so good. These are so good. Try to stay on top of them. I got this nice that beautiful, get that beautiful one right there. Get that beautiful one. Well, I got some nice size. Look at these nice size. This is my low crap fruit. Get off. All right. Those bushes done. See my back bushes now. Oh, ate a beetle. Beetle has a distinctive taste. I know when I have beetle. It's not a taste I care much for. I think I got everything. These will be tomorrow's. All right, let's go see what my wife is doing. And the next one's these blackberries. See all my blackberries? Got so many blackberries. Blackberries. They're kind of bitter though, but they're big and bitter. Look at all this water. So when I go, I grab a cup of water in the morning and fill up all the water. Put them in the fridge. Yes. Mama, what night is it all? Huh? Oh, go on.